One Zambia, one nation. Thank you for joining us on Zanis News. To present the news, my name is Faith Katai. The headlines. President Hichilema ready to assent to access to information bill. Nyumba residents hand over maternity wing to government. Food security pack transforming communities. And Lusaka mayor launches cycling policy. The news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has assured that he is ready to assent to the Access to Information Bill when it is presented to him following his approval by Parliament. President Hichilema said government has pushed for the Access to Information Bill and made other legal reforms such as the removal of the death penalty and the criminal defamation of the president in an effort to promote democracy in the country. The head of state, however, urged Zambians to avoid abusing rights and freedoms in order not to infringe on other people's liberties. President Hichilema said this at State House when he met a team from the African Peer Review Mechanism. President Hichilema also noted that Africa needs to add value to its exports in order to change the narrative that the continent is merely a hub for raw materials. Meanwhile, leader of the African Peer Review Mechanism, Linda Mutendi, said Zambia is one of the first African countries to request for a second targeted review, stating that it is a good indicator of the country's commitment towards improving governance.
First, it's really delightful that we are engaging in this manner. Zambia is part of the African Union. And the APRM is an instrument of the African Union. So this is our instrument. For starters, to make it very clear that this is our own program. It's Zambia's program. It's Uganda's program. It's Tunisia's program. It is Congo DR's program. So I make that emphasis, team leader, because sometimes countries or citizens in that country, governments feel that it's an imposition, such an exercise, an imposition on them. This is not an imposition on us. This is ours, and we know the value. We are ceded freely to the APRM in 2006, so to say. That's some time back. So, and because we took that step, we feel comfortable to receive a team like yours. We feel comfortable to have a second review as you are doing now. So please do not at any point feel like there is some negativity. A quarter or so in a democracy may have a negative feeling, but in totality of things, Zambia fully accepts the APRM mechanism or instrument, death penalty. It's a serious governance issue. We have removed the death penalty. We have removed the criminal defamation of the president. That's why when you attended that platform, people are freely able to say what they feel. It's their responsibility to understand that where their freedoms of speech end, other people's freedoms start from there. So it's their responsibility to self-censor. I think it's important, these developments. I was checking with the Minister of Justice here. I think the Freedom of Information Bill, access to information. Access to information is in its final stages, probably to be approved. Parliament approved. So it's waiting for me to say yes or no. And I'll say yes. And I'll say yes. We would like your review team to take account of these. I've only given a few to take account of the reforms this government is making to support democracy, to support human rights, to support the rule of law. But also I must be quick to say that we inherited a government that basically had broken the rule of law. This is not politics, it's real. So we are restating, we are reinstalling, we are basically reinforcing the rule of law. So sometimes you will hear noises where people got used to breaking the law. And now we are saying, no one is above the law. You have to operate within the law. So I want you to have a test of the coin from the two sides. And so restoring the rule of law is very important. But reforming the laws so that they allow for more democratic space, more freedom of information space is equally important, and the two must be looked at as a package.
We began discussing this peer review under your leadership and your colleagues. Zambia was mentioned to be one of those African countries that dared to intervene to harness a very rare resource, and that is the mining sector. Many of the African countries have not dared, but you dared, especially in cobalt and copper. So we are here to learn lessons so that we don't burn fingers where you burnt, and we learn lessons to be able to utilize, harness, and build the natural resources of our continent. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the APRM was created with the sole objective to strengthen government's efforts to improve good governance in the delivery of its developmental agenda to its people, as good governance as is the very backbone of the nation's development and its cornerstone of its stability. Good governance plays a defining role in government actions and remains the epicenter and bedrock of the success of its effort. It is its compass that should be guiding policy formulation and implementation. Without good governance, efforts to build a just and prosperous nation would be in vain. Therefore, by undertaking a second generation country review, the Republic of Zambia has sent a strong message to Africa, as well as to the world, a message of resilience, extreme resolve, self-accountability to further improve the good governance, not only in terms of economic posture vis-à-vis the creditors, however, across the key 5 pillars of the APRM, which Your Excellency, when Her Excellency Bukama Shell came to begin the first peer review in Zambia, she led 4 sectors, which were democratic and political governance, economic governance and management, corporate governance, broad-based socio-economic development. And since the pandemic of COVID-19, the heads of Senate and government have added to test how our countries have managed to do state resilience in shocks and disaster. So we've added the 5th pillar to see how we've been able to recover, given what we went through. We were on our own during COVID, and that is the foresightness of our heads of state in the African Union to see how we can overcome disaster and shocks as African continent.
Meanwhile, President Hakainde Hichilema says government is resolved to grow the economy through value addition to the mineral endowment the country has. President Hichilema says the Zambian economy can only grow once value is added to gemstones. The head of state has since called for mapping of the country's mineral areas to maximize on benefits. Sande Bwalia has the details.
Value addition to Zambian minerals is critical to the country to realize full potential from the mining sector. To this end, President Hichilema has toured Jewel of Africa to appreciate how the value addition aspect is actualized.
Finally, I'm here, and why am I here is to see what these colleagues are doing in Jewel of Africa. They've been doing it for a long time, since 1992. It's a long time. And the Zambian family, Zambian company, doing value addition in the Zambian semi-precious stones and precious stones. The variety of stones that this country has, God has endowed us with. It's tremendous in variety and in many other aspects of assessment of value. But we have not been able to extract that value, full value, because we have not been value adding.
And President Hichilema has called for the exploration of the mineral endowment because currently only 50% of mineral areas are mapped.
And so we invite citizens, geologists, all types, metallurgists, mining engineers, agriculturists, because mainly it's the farmers that discover this thing, even small-scale farmers. Everybody, citizens.
And Jewel of Africa Managing Director said Zambia produces top-quality gemstones that can compete favorably and that his firm will continue to add value to minerals to maximize on profit.
We want to be producing top-end jewelry and supply it directly to the customer worldwide. And there's a reason we want to do that. Far too long, Zambia has been seen as an exporter of rough and raw materials, rough gemstones, raw metals. It's only through value addition and through passing it through the value chain and having a finished product that you actually get to interact and deal with the final customer, and the final customer to appreciate the value of what this nation of ours is producing.
Indeed, value addition to Zambian minerals and other products in other sectors of the economy will accelerate the economy. For Zanis in Lusaka, I'm Sunday Warrior.
Vice President Mutalena Lumango has held closed-door bilateral discussions with leading figures of international organizations in Geneva, Switzerland, to enhance cooperation with Zambia on various programs. Mrs. Nalumango conferred with the United Nations Disaster Risk Reduction and Japan International Cooperation Agency on the sidelines of the Global Refugee Program in Geneva. The Vice President said Zambia will continue engaging in strategic diplomatic relations to secure meaningful partnership with the global community to address disaster risk reduction and refugee integration programs. From Geneva, Victor Mwila now reports.
In strategic diplomatic moves to secure meaningful partnerships with the global community, Vice President Mutalena Lumango is meeting various leading figures of global organizations. Mrs. Nalumango is in Geneva to grace various UN programs, including the United Nations Refugee Forum in Switzerland. Mrs. Nalumango has held separate talks with the Special Representative of the UN Secretary General on Disaster Risk Reduction, Ms. Mami Mizotori, and President of JICA, Dr. Tanaka Akihiko. The Vice President shared some of the areas of interaction with the two cooperating partners following closed-door discussions.
We work with DRR in capacity building, and through DRR, we interact with the rest of the world in issues to do with disaster risk reduction and even management.
Mrs. Nalumango has highlighted the need for Zambia to continue engaging in strategic diplomatic moves to secure meaningful partnerships with the global community in dealing with complex challenges such as disaster risk reduction and refugee integration programs.
JICA is willing, has noted our effort, and is willing to continue to support the programs to do with refugees. By meeting these different entities of the global organizations is for us to make the point that we are there. We also need support, both moral and financial, for us to continue to look after our people and all those that come under our care.
Victor Mwila for Zanis News in Geneva, Switzerland.
The United Party for National Development says it will continue to participate in the monitoring of the implementation of the Constituency Development Fund projects. National Chairperson Collins Maoma says the ruling party wants to ensure that the monitoring of CDF projects answers to the campaign promises made to Zambians. Details in this report.
United Party for National Development UPND National Chairperson Collins Maoma is in Solwezi Central Constituency to appreciate the implementation of Constituency Development Fund projects in Kimasala and Kiafukuma wards. Mr. Maoma is accompanied by UPND consultant Max Moe.
The people of Mushtala and Bukandundu decided we want a bridge here. Exactly. And you as a constituency development, we accept it. That is good. That is the message that UPND and President Hakainde across the country, this is what he's doing. So you can see, as you media, as you can see, people of Mushtala, Kandundu, they were suffering. You can see now, even the road, there's absolutely nothing, which is now starting to be worked on through the CDF fund. We are very grateful. Please, the CDF chairman, continue working hard, and we are hoping that this project can quickly be completed, because now you can see the rain season.
At Kiafukuma Secondary School, a 1x3 classroom block is under construction at a total cost of 700,000 kwacha, while a semi-detached staff house is already completed.
We want to tell the opposition to say, please, for this CDF, please appreciate and support where it is due. Yes, you can oppose, but when things are being done like this, we want also you to come up and say, no, we are so grateful. Obviously, if you then say you appreciate, the people of Solwezi themselves, they are very happy. And we want to encourage you, people of Solwezi and across the country, please don't listen to those soothsayers. Hakainde Hichilema is on course.
Mr. Maoma also paid a courtesy on Chief Kabijimpanga of the county-speaking people of Solwezi District.
We still cry to our able president that we need a university.
We want to appreciate you. We have heard the issues that you've raised. The president has made it very clear. He is here sitting in the seat of president for only one reason. What is that reason? To bring about development, respond to people's challenge, and that is what he is doing.
Reporting for Zanis News, I am Chabunkoma in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province.
We take a break, and when we come back, Nyumba residents hand over maternity wing to government. Stay tuned.
The Civil Service Commission invites applications from suitably qualified serving officers and the general public to fill vacant positions under the Zambia News and Information Services Zanis, Ministry of Information and Media. Job title: Principal Operations Officer, 1 vacancy. Department: Zanis Headquarters. Job purpose: to supervise the provision of engineering and public address services in order to facilitate the dissemination of information. The applicants must meet the following requirements: Grade 12 school certificate with a minimum of 5 credits, including English language and mathematics or its equivalent. Bachelor's of Engineering degree in electronics or its equivalent. 6 years working experience and member of the Engineering Institute of Zambia. Job title: Senior Maintenance Engineer, 1 vacancy. Department: Zanis Headquarters. Qualifications: the applicants must meet the following requirements: Grade 12 school certificate with a minimum of 5 credits, including English language and mathematics or its equivalent. Bachelor of Engineering degree in electronics or its equivalent. 3 years working experience and member of the Engineering Institute of Zambia. Job title: Maintenance Engineer Equipment, 1 vacancy. Department: Zanis Headquarters. Qualifications: the applicant must meet the following requirements: Grade 12 school certificate with a minimum of 5 credits in English language and mathematics or its equivalent. Bachelor of Engineering degree in electronics or its equivalent. And member of the Engineering Institute of Zambia. Job title: Marketing Officer, 1 vacancy. Department: Zanis Headquarters. Job purpose: to undertake the marketing and sale of Zanis products and services in order to create awareness and facilitate revenue generation. The applicants must meet the following requirements: Grade 12 school certificate with a minimum of 5 credits, including English language and mathematics or its equivalent. Degree in marketing or its equivalent, and member of the Zambia Institute of Marketing. All applicants must be lodged directly to the Civil Service Commission to the following address: the Civil Service Commission, New Secretariat, P.O. Box 50138, Ridgeway 15101, Lusaka. Applications must be submitted together with detailed curriculum vitae, certified photocopies of national registration card, academic and professional qualifications to the address given above. The closing date for receiving applications will be Friday, 15th December 2023 at 17 hours. People with disabilities are encouraged to apply. Note that only successful candidates shall be contacted.
For news and current affairs, entertainment, sports, children's programs, and a host of other events in and beyond our borders, Zanis TV has you covered. On Channel 6 and Channel 458 on Topstar.
Welcome back. In Northern Province, the government has handed over 2023 Constituency Development Fund loans and grants to beneficiary groups in Ino District, amounting to over 5.2 million kwacha. Northern Province Permanent Secretary Bernard Mpundu said 71 groups and businesses entities will receive 3.1 million kwacha of the loans, while 24 cooperatives received 2.1 million kwacha in grants. Mr. Mpundu noted that CDF has helped to build financial capacity among youths, women, and other marginalized groups. Geoffrey Piri has more in the following report.
Access to cheap and affordable capital was one of the biggest challenges that entrepreneurs and cooperatives, especially in rural areas, used to face to grow their businesses. But the introduction of empowerment loans and grants under the Constituency Development Fund (CDF) has changed the situation, as it has allowed groups to access affordable capital. Northern Province Permanent Secretary Bernard Mpundu has since visited Ino District to officiate at the handover of the 2023 CDF empowerment loans at a combined cost of 5.2 million kwacha.
Introduced among its key policies a component of youth, women, and community empowerment funds, whose main agenda is to build financial capacity amongst our youths and our women to become entrepreneurs so as to improve their welfare and alleviate poverty.
Mr. Mpundu also challenged the local authority to ensure that everyone is given equal opportunity to access the funds.
Be a little bit biased when you receive an application and you see the person with a disability, before you deal with it, call that person and help. Please.
The CDF committee and the local authority also spoke at the event.
We shall continue doing our best and ensure that everyone of the district benefits from this national cake, which is CDF.
Meanwhile, beneficiaries have praised government for the funds. Geoffrey Piri reporting for Zanis in Ino District.
The construction of 2 screening and treatment centers at Masemu Urban Clinic and District Hospital in Ino District has been completed. Ino District Director of Health, Dr. Joseph Tembo, said the construction of the 2 centers is part of government's goal to provide quality healthcare services to the people. Details in the following report.
The number of patients attending health facilities in Ino has increased over the years, resulting in healthcare services being crammed into the limited space available. The construction of the new facilities by the Center for Disease Control, CDC, at Masemu Urban Clinic and Ino Hospital has contributed to the creation of much-needed space. Dr. Joseph Tembo is the District Health Director.
The vision for the Ministry of Health is to make sure that we have healthy and productive population. Now, this structure is linked to that vision through the goal, because our goal as a Ministry of Health is to make sure that we provide equitable access to cost-effective and quality healthcare services.
Masemu Clinic nurse in charge explains the services offered by the new facilities.
So at this prefab, we're able to offer services like screening. So we can screen for TB, cervical cancer, VMMC. So we screen and treat from this side. Then also this has really greatly contributed to the quality service delivery, because as you can see we have good space and also we're able to provide privacy.
The district clean commenter explains the importance of the facility.
So with the coming of the prefab, with the help from PEPFAR and the SPHO, we have seen that we now have enough room to be able to see our clients around here. So these prefabs on their own, they help in patient care and management.
Meanwhile, Hospital Medical Officer in charge describes how the facility has improved healthcare services.
Our hospital has struggled for some time with the challenge of space. With the coming of the refurb, it has helped to provide extra space. We've taken advantage of this space to provide other services to our patients.
Frederick Mansa, Zanis, Iteji.
In Luapula Province, government says the payback system under the Food Security Pack program is helping to bring development to communities in Mansa District. Community Development Officer Tikambenji Kangombe says the payback system has enabled communities to procure maize shellers and oil expellers. Kennedy Chomba has the rest of the story.
The Department of Community Development in Mansa District is almost done with the distribution of inputs to all the farmers under the Food Security Pack program this year. Mansa District Development Officer Tikambenji Kangombe shares what is expected from the 2,655 farmers who have benefited from the program this year.
Whatever we give them 2D compound and 2 urea, but as of date, depending on the circumstances, we give them 1 urea, and obviously we give them cereal seed and also legume seed. So from that, what normally happens is that what we expect from them when they cultivated 2 lima, we only expect them to pay back 2 by 50 kg maize bags. That's what they pay back. Okay. Yes, so they can pay back in cash or in money, in cash or in kind, depending on what they are comfortable with. Okay. Yes.
The Mansa District Community Development Officer explains how the money for paybacks is utilized.
In terms of paybacks, we've managed at least to do a number of projects. The recent ones being we were able to procure an oil expeller, and then we were also able to procure a maize sheller for 2 seaworks. That is 1 seawork each. They were able to procure from the same recoveries the monies that they generate themselves for the communities. And then aside that, we are also able to do some livestock. We managed to distribute some improved village chickens, and we also managed to distribute some goats, some pigs. So all those projects are coming from the recoveries account where they put the monies, and then we take back the monies into the communities which had benefited. So
the system of allowing beneficiaries to pay back part of their produce is key in sustaining the program, so that more people can continue to benefit from the project. Kenneth Chomba reporting for Zanis News.
Still in Luapula Province, the community in Isamba Ward, Samfya District, has attributed the effects of climate change to practices such as cutting down trees to collect caterpillars, the Chitemene system, and charcoal production. Mwangala Kapandula now reports.
The digital mobile national registration card exercise in Isamba Ward in Samfya District, Luapula Province, has received positive response from members of the public. We are grateful to government for bringing the mobile registration exercise closer to us. I am appealing to my fellow citizens to come forth and get captured. With a catchment area of 15,000 people, the community is eager to get the new digital registration cards. I am grateful for the government for bringing this exercise close to us. This exercise is good because it is also going to help curb irregularities in the registration of national cards. I'm also appealing to members of the community to come and register. Mwangala Kapandula reporting for Zanis News in Luapula Province.
We take a break, and when we come back, Lusaka Mayor launches cycling policy. Stay tuned.
The Civil Service Commission invites applications from suitably qualified serving officers and the general public to fill vacant positions under the Zambia News and Information Services Zanis, Ministry of Information and Media. Job title: Principal Operations Officer, 1 vacancy. Department: Zanis Headquarters. Job purpose: to supervise the provision of engineering and public address services in order to facilitate the dissemination of information. The applicants must meet the following requirements: Grade 12 school certificate with a minimum of 5 credits, including English language and mathematics or its equivalent. Bachelor's of Engineering degree in electronics or its equivalent. 6 years working experience and member of the Engineering Institute of Zambia. Job title: Senior Maintenance Engineer, 1 vacancy. Department: Zanis Headquarters. Qualifications: the applicants must meet the following requirements: Grade 12 school certificate with a minimum of 5 credits, including English language and mathematics or its equivalent. Bachelor of Engineering degree in electronics or its equivalent. 3 years working experience and member of the Engineering Institute of Zambia. Job title: Maintenance Engineer Equipment, 1 vacancy. Department: Zanis Headquarters. Qualifications: the applicant must meet the following requirements: Grade 12 school certificate with a minimum of 5 credits in English language and mathematics or its equivalent. Bachelor of Engineering degree in electronics or its equivalent. And member of the Engineering Institute of Zambia. Job title: Marketing Officer, 1 vacancy. Department: Zanis Headquarters. Job purpose: to undertake the marketing and sale of Zanis products and services in order to create awareness and facilitate revenue generation. The applicants must meet the following requirements: Grade 12 school certificate with a minimum of 5 credits, including English language and mathematics or its equivalent. Degree in marketing or its equivalent, and member of the Zambia Institute of Marketing. All applicants must be lodged directly to the Civil Service Commission to the following address: the Civil Service Commission, New Secretariat, P.O. Box 50138, Ridgeway 15101, Lusaka. Applications must be submitted together with detailed curriculum vitae, certified photocopies of national registration card, academic and professional qualifications to the address given above. The closing date for receiving applications will be Friday, 15th December 2023 at 17 hours. People with disabilities are encouraged to apply. Note that only successful candidates shall be contacted.
For news and current affairs, entertainment, sports, children's programs, and a host of other events in and beyond our borders, Zanis TV has you covered. On Channel 6 and Channel 458 on Topstar.
Government has called for strong stakeholders' participation in the education sector in order to improve the quality of education in the country. Minister of Education Permanent Secretary for Technical Services, Joel Kamoko, observes that as the country tries to reform the education sector through initiatives such as the new curriculum, there is need for partners to remain proactive and share views on how best the sector can be improved. Mr. Kamoko praised stakeholders such as the Zambia National Education Coalition for playing an important role in ensuring that every child in the country is provided with access to quality and inclusive education that has potential to better their future. He said government alone cannot manage to fully attend to all the education needs of the children in the country, hence the need for other partners to come on board. The Permanent Secretary was speaking in Lusaka when he officiated at the ZANEC 10th General Assembly under the theme Celebrating 20 Years of Advocacy for Quality and Inclusive Education. And ZANEC Board Chairperson Henry Kabwe has pledged to continue collaborating with government and other institutions in improving access to quality education in the country. Mr. Kabwe further called on government to improve on teacher retention, especially in rural areas. We take you to Southern Province, where Namwala Member of Parliament, Herbert Mapani, has reaffirmed government's commitment to take development closer to the people by allowing communities to drive their development agenda. Mr. Mapani said the UPND administration has expanded the Constituency Development Fund to support development projects in communities. The lawmaker was speaking in Ino District during the handover ceremony of a police motor vehicle and a tractor for solid waste management procured under the 2023 Constituency Development Fund. Here is a report.
The fruits of the increased Constituent Development Fund have started yielding fruits in Namwala constituency of Ino District. A police motor vehicle and a tractor for solid waste management, which were procured under the 2023 CDF funds, have finally been commissioned. The area member of parliament has appealed to the Namwala police to use the vehicle for its intended purpose.
This is the vehicle that is being handed over today to the Namwala police. My appeal to the officer in charge and his officers is that they should all take good care of the vehicle, particularly this vehicle, and ensure that it is used only for the intended purposes that it has been procured for.
The procurement of the tractor for solid waste management will help the district to maintain a clean environment for the people of Namwala.
The collection of garbage by Namwala Council from marketplaces in the district is crucial for public health, environmental sustainability, as well as overall well-being of the community.
The district leadership was also on hand to witness the handover of the police vehicle and the tractor for solid waste management, and have since appealed to the end users to take care of the two motor vehicles.
We all heard how important it is for us to look after these properties properly. Word of advice to the end users of these vehicles is that they take good care of these properties, which were bought at the great expense using taxes money.
This development has cheered some residents of Namwala.
Appreciate our government for bringing us the equipment, for bringing us the tools for us to develop this country.
Wairinda Piri reporting in Namwala District of Southern Province.
Mwembeshi Member of Parliament, Jamba Majila, has commended President Hakainde Hichilema for taking development to rural areas through the expanded Constituency Development Fund. The lawmaker said this when he officially handed over 2 vehicles for monitoring CDF projects and for the police service. Details in the following report.
Jubilant celebrations erupted in Shibuyunji District this week as 2 brand new vehicles funded by the Constituency Development Fund were officially handed over. Gracing the ceremony for the CDF monitoring vehicle and police vehicle, Mwembeshi Member of Parliament, Jamba Majila, thanked President Hakainde Hichilema for fulfilling his assurance to the people of Zambia.
Today, Shibuyunji Town Council is handing over the vehicles to Shibuyunji Council and police service to enable them respond effectively to security threats and concerns within our district. I would like to use this opportunity to encourage the local authority as well as the police service on the pivotal role of enforcement, which it plays in fostering conducive environment for development.
And Shibuyunji District Commissioner, who was also present, advised the beneficiaries of loans and grants under CDF to start paying back.
Grant. That's why this vehicle is there again. It should monitor. Grant there must be something to show. Not always a grant. I hear a lot of stories which are bad. Waweza grant ulelele goli bonya buboneka bama. Some waweza grant ma. Tamona. Nani hapa nume. ino ntegwa ababo ni example let me abuse kulera wabonera wambati ababanga wese grant bali mu business.
Even the traditional leadership joined the chorus of appreciation and urged the police to guard the vehicle jealously.
Let's guard this machine, these two machines jealously. But when we guard these machines jealously, then we are going to see that we uplift the name of the Newton government.
In receiving the keys to the police vehicle, Shibuyunji police officer in charge, Simon Mukelebi, promised to enhance security in the district.
And the Zambia Police Service, we are really so grateful because our works have been made easy, and we pledge that we are there equal to the task to ensure that we police Shibuyunji as you desire, as we also desire. We want to do our best that we police Shibuyunji. We know that we cannot completely do away with crime, but we'll try our level best to reduce the levels of crime in Shibuyunji.
Meanwhile, Shibuyunji residents expressed their excitement.
New Dawn, kutipasa mamotoka ya mine mwatipasa ba presidenti twaungaziko mwaunarebo na ba DC twaungaziko mwatambera bwino chikalipo chitikapo first time New Dawn kutipasa kwa motoka ya police.
Tina Kabamba reporting for Zanis in Ino District, Central Province.
Solwezi Mayor Remy Kalepa says the local authority has set aside 4 million kwacha in its 2024 annual budget towards the construction of a modern fire station in the district. Mr. Kalepa said the local authority places a high premium on the provision of public safety services to the local community. The mayor was speaking in Solwezi during the Zambia Council of Fire Brigade Managers annual general meeting. Emma Zulu has the details.
The Solwezi Municipal Council has continued to place fire and rescue services as an integral part of its service delivery. Solwezi Mayor Remy Kalepa says the local authority has set aside funds in its 2024 annual budget to construct a fire station in the district. This was during a Zambia Council of Fire Brigade Managers annual general meeting held in Solwezi.
The council has budgeted for 4 million kwacha towards the construction of a modern fire station in the 2024 annual budget. This project is currently under procurement and a clear demonstration of the council's commitment to ensuring a conducive work environment for our officers.
The provincial administration says having a fire cover brings about investor confidence.
Having a fire cover in the district brings about investor confidence. This in turn will positively impact the local and national economy and will also have bearing on the gross domestic product.
And Local Government Service Commissioner Liseli Sishekano calls for quality service delivery.
The fire brigade plays a crucial role in safeguarding our lives and property. I commend each and every one of you for your unwavering commitment to this noble cause. Let me make an earnest appeal to hard work, dedication to duty, efficiency and effectiveness culminating in quality service delivery.
The fire experts want to see the construction of more fire stations.
And our desire as fire brigade managers is that how we wish to see it is supporting all the districts that we are coming from. Out of the 116 districts or fire authorities, we only have less than 15 that have got fire brigade infrastructure.
Emma Zulu reporting for Zanis News in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province.
Finally in the news, Lusaka Mayor Chilando Chitangala has launched the pedestrian and cycling safety policy aimed at curbing accidents in the capital city. Ms. Chitangala says the formulation of the pedestrian and cycling safety policy is meant to recognize the need to reshape Lusaka's urban landscapes, fostering a safer and more inclusive environment for all residents. The mayor launched the policy in Chipata District, which has a progressive pedestrian and cycling safety policy and environment. Take a look at this report by Sylvester Chishimba.
In Zambia, statistics show that a lot of accidents involving cyclists, motorists, and pedestrians are on the rise. In this case, the formulation and launch of the cycling and pedestrian policy by Lusaka City Council in Chipata District is one such initiative targeted at curbing the accidents. Lusaka City Mayor Chilando Chitangala graced the ceremony.
This is something that we've always wanted to do as a city of Lusaka, of course build infrastructure for cycling and safe passages for pedestrians. But then also we haven't had support in terms of resources. But of course when we roll out the policy, we are hoping that we can actually have other stakeholders come on board so that we can build this wonderful infrastructure that we've seen here in Chipata. We chose Chipata for the reason that Chipata has built the infrastructure for cycling and pedestrian. So we've seen what they've done and happy with what they've done. Obviously they'll need a bit of improvement, and also they need to also be partners with that to adopt and also launch probably their own policy. But if it's adopted by national government, I guess it will be nationwide.
Ms. Chitangala also outlined the importance of this initiative in the fight against climate change.
So this is something that we're doing as Lusaka to also help us in fighting climate change challenges. It's best that people can cycle and walk to work or any other places. So there are so many things that are in here, just not healthy reasons, but also helping us fight climate change. And Lusaka being a city with close to 3 million people, there's a lot of urbanization there, a lot of traffic there. It will also help us to reduce our own pollution.
And the directors of public health from the two local authorities have welcomed this development.
Working on the policy, cycling and pedestrian safety policy for the city of Lusaka. As you may be aware, the population for the city is growing, and we are seeing also rising population of motorbikes, vehicles, but also human population. And there's need to come up with policies that will decongest the city, reduce the carbon footprint from our vehicles, but also have a city that is inclusive for people who don't use motorists, so basically promote non-motorized transport so that we can enhance faster movements, fight climate change, but also promote health lifestyles, because if you ride your bicycles or you walk, you cut down on carbon footprint, but also you exercise and you get around the city quicker and faster than automobile.
The Lusaka City Council civic leaders and management who have come to this city of ours to come and learn, at the same time help each other to develop a policy on road safety, both infrastructure as well as policy direction. It is indeed a good thing for us as Chipata City. We are also tapping into this because we have so far developed the infrastructure with all inclusiveness. We have developed a road through government support and the EU, where we have designed our main trunk road, which has included pedestrians as well as cyclists.
Sylvester Chimba for Zanis in Chipata District, Eastern Province.
And that item brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, we take a look at stories that made headlines. President Hichilema ready to assent to Access to Information Bill. Nyumba residents hand over maternity wing to government. Food security pack transforming communities. And Lusaka mayor launches cycling policy. That's all we had for you on Zanis News. Remember, we are one Zambia, one nation. Have a pleasant viewing.